Good morning, people. It's Saturday the 4th of April 2020, and I thought I would just quickly make a video of how I draw the lines on my chart and the reason for them. So we're looking at a monthly Bitcoin chart here, and we're prices at this point here. This is the current month, April, and how can I assess where price might go and how it might be affected by previous levels of support and resistance? Well, firstly, I should say that I rely on single candle highs and lows as recent support and resistance. I don't connect levels like this, because what you'll find is a monthly high or low will potentially look like this on a hourly or 4-hourly chart. So that's how I like to view, because obviously a monthly high will be 4 candles on a weekly chart and 20 candles on a daily chart. So you've naturally got a level that has potentially been tested numerous times. Simple as that. So the current month, we've got wicks at both ends, so obviously something has happened at both those levels. So we can stick a high and a low on that, because in order to go up, it's got to break through that level. In order to go down, it's got to break through that level. Then the previous month, if we get through these levels, we can expect potentially those levels to be tested, and as such, using the reversal method I teach, as it were, and the various ways support and resistance causes price to move, we can use that. I'll get rid of that white dotted line. And when price is pushing up, old support will affect the price, so this level needs to be drawn on, bottom of the green candle, and these are affecting price as we speak. We did, by the looks of it, we closed below that price, so this is potentially just a retracement to a continuation to the downside, in my opinion. And it is just my opinion. Never ever trade anything I talk about on here. Now that's interesting. That's like one of those strange visual effects. It looks like it closed, but it possibly hasn't. So, and it is important, that precise level. The low is 641815, and the low of that one is the close of that one, 642664. So it did hold. I think it was 6418, wasn't it? Yeah, that one's a higher low there as well. So now it's important to see whether this actually opened lower. 6425. No, it didn't. So that has held. That support, that's important. That support there has held and not been breached yet. So this isn't necessarily, that's a bullish signal in my opinion. So we can learn a lot from the lows and highs of candles. So that was important, that level. We've got that one in. Might as well put that one in, because on a 1 minute chart that will be a big old gap potentially. That's down here, massive gap. And remember, I talk about trading the gaps if you go and look at some of my other videos. But before that gap gets potentially tested and attacked, although it is the most important part for a continuation to the downside, this resistance level here will, as being a monthly level, will potentially cause a problem with price. So remember, we're trading the gap, so in order to attack this low here, we would want to see a close below that resistance, old resistance acting as new support. Okay. Excuse me. So then we go down onto the weekly chart. I think I've covered everything here. I mean, if we break through this this level here, then the next level would be that one, so we might as well put it in, because this thing moves like an absolute monster. And that's it. So now we drop to the weekly, and what this old monthly chart will have is all sorts of levels, of weekly levels that we can draw on. So drop down, and now we are looking at weekly levels that may cause a problem with price. So start from right to left, we might as well. The low of that current weekly candle, and then when it gets through that, it's got to get through the low of that weekly candle. Excuse me. Where we are above us, we've got levels that will cause a problem with price or present themselves as potential targets, which is why I like this trading the levels thing. It is so precise. Support level above the price. Weeklies, remember, massive levels, massive areas. We can just check we've got one on that one to be safe, and we can put one on this one, although that's not as important, because once this is breached, it should continue, because it's the nearest to the left, as it were. But if you learn to draw the levels, or teach yourself to draw the levels, then you will learn the nuances of price and have them on your charts. I suggest you do it every day. Clear your chart down, because for me, it's almost like a sort of meditation process. It actually prepares me for the day's trading. There's never any need to rush trading. I have that one. We're just building gaps up, building a picture rather of where we can trade. It's a trading plan. Excuse me. I mean, we might as well put all these in, because they will affect price. There isn't that, you don't want to look at that and say, oh, there's a massive gap there. There isn't, because you've got that gap there to fill, and then you've got that gap there to fill before it goes. And price, my mantra is price, when support is broken, it will test it as resistance, and so as this price is push through here, you will see then the zigzag start to form once old support is broken. Something like this here: low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, and close. It's trended and closed through that candlestick's low, and look where it went back to, there and beyond. Obviously there is some sort of other level hidden in there on the lower time frames, but when you get this formation, this trend, candlestick trend, and the break, price will almost certainly go back to test it. I was taught that was fair value. I have no idea whether it's the correct terminology, but how do you know that, say, this fictional level here is 2,000, let's say $2,000 in gold, is the right price that gold should be at, unless they go up and test it to see whether it is the right price? Fair value. So we've got most of our levels in here. If we break through here, then we've got to have an idea where price will stop, so, or bounce, or where we can target. So that's all of our levels drawn on that time frame. If I've missed any, I do apologise. That's because I'm digressing and talking about stuff at the same time, obviously. Daily levels now. Right, well, here we are today. Where have we got to break through in order to continue down? Well, yesterday's daily low, no brainer. Again, this is why I like this system, it's mechanical. These levels are black and white, green and yellow, call it what you like. There is no grey. Make sure we've got that on there. And make sure we've got a high on that yesterday's candle. Double check that one as well. Excuse me. This is an inside bar, so it's pretty much insignificant, but we can put a level on there because not so much with Bitcoin, because oops, sorry, got the high on there, but it doesn't matter. Not so much with Bitcoin because it's got such a huge spread, so I wouldn't want to be trading this on anything less than say an hourly chart or something. But if this was a cable chart or something like that, then these levels would be fantastic on a 1 minute. They're not so exciting on a Bitcoin, as I just explained. So massive gap between there and there if we break through this level. Big old gap between there and there if we break through that level as it stands. No doubt there'll be an H4 something going on here, and possibly an H4 something going on here. So we will draw the H4 lines in now. You can add ascending and descending trend lines, of course. We've got a massive one going on here to the downside. My way of validating a trend line is not the norm. I just like to connect levels that create lower lows, break the previous low. So this level only becomes valid when that low is broken. I've currently connected that and that, and then you can tighten up your trend lines. This is just how I like to do it. And look what happened to price there. Now, I haven't looked at this chart, and I certainly didn't envisage that happening there, but it did. So not only are the horizontal support and resistance levels important, the ascending and descending trend lines are also. Now that would have been the original ascending trend line. Because that high was broken by that. You can use the line chart if you want, just to see the trends going on here. In my opinion, that is. You can never have too much good information on your charts. The minute that high broke that there, this became a valid connection point, and you could really dispense with that one then. In my opinion, just clean the charts up. Right, I'm going to call this Bitcoin part 1, because often when I go into one and create these videos, they don't save, and I've just wasted 20 minutes of my time. So Bitcoin analysis part 1, weekend analysis part 1.